What's up, guys? It's Dwayne, back again for another video, back again for a reaction, and today is a great, wonderful, beautiful, amazing day because it's a Finland day. This is why Finland sucks. Without further ado, let's get into this reaction. Let's go.
Career in Finland. In this video, we are going to take a different turn and go through 5 reasons why you should not move to Finland. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time we are meeting, my name is Oliver and I'm a master's student in economics at Aalto University in Finland. And on this channel we talk about education and early career development, specifically here in Finland. So if you are new here, do consider subscribing. Alright, so let's jump right into it. The first reason why you should not move to Finland is the fact that ours is one of the most expensive countries in Europe. Everything from your rent to grocery.
That is a pretty, that's a good reason not to move to Finland. It is very expensive, but however, you get paid more than everywhere else to just balance that out, right? So comparatively, I think visiting Finland is worse than living in Finland. If you visit from a country where the pay is different, and going to Finland will feel very expensive. But I guess if you live in Finland and you're getting paid accordingly, it shouldn't feel too bad. Is that right? Let me know in the comment section if you still feel like Finland is very expensive. Let me know.
Groceries to alcohol is expensive compared to many other countries, and you will most likely be shocked by the local prices, especially if you come from outside of Europe. So not only are most goods imported to Finland raising consumer prices, but most importantly, prices are impacted by the high value-added taxes, or VAT. So Finland has a relatively high VAT that is added to all goods consumed, and with a general VAT of 24%, Finland ranks high even in European standards, with only 4 countries using a higher percentage. In addition to the high VAT, some specific product categories have also been imposed additional excise taxes.
See, VAT, because I'm European, I know what VAT means. For Americans, they're like, VAT? Value added tax. I didn't know that.
That raise their price even more. These products include things like alcohol, tobacco, and soft drinks. Okay. Also, in addition to the high living costs, something that you should also take into account if you are looking to study in Finland is that Finnish universities have relatively high annual tuition fees for people who come from outside the European Union.
Which is now us. Thank you very much, England. We're now outside UK. We're now outside the European Union. Honestly, guys, we'll never get over it. The people like myself who voted to stay in the EU will never get over it. We're still upset. We're still deeply, deeply upset that we're no longer part of the EU. I think it's one of the biggest mistakes the UK has ever made. It upsets me. Like, the fact that we were able to just have freedom of movement, live and work anywhere in Europe. The fact that, you know, like import tax and all this type of stuff was cheaper. We could do business with the rest of Europe a lot easier. I just don't see a plus for not being in the European Union. And this is just another thing. We have to pay more tuition fees if we want to study in Finland. It's just, it's insane.
However, it is also good to know that Finnish universities also have really good scholarship options for those of you who have to pay tuition. If you are interested in studying in Finland, I have videos both about tuition fees and scholarships in Finland that you can check out right here. So as a great segue from the first point, the second reason why you should not move to Finland is because of the high personal income taxation. So Finland uses a progressive tax system, meaning that the higher your salary, the higher your overall tax rate as well. Okay. So the exact tax percentage you need to pay will depend on many different factors like your salary, the type of income you are receiving, as well as your municipal tax rate. But to put this into simple terms, Finnish marginal tax rates starts from around 8% and go all the way up to almost 60%.
Whoa, wow, that's a stinger. So basically, if you're someone who earns a lot of money, Finland is not the place to be. But if you make a moderate amount of money or not a lot of money, Finland is definitely the place to be. Okay, I get it. So you might, you probably don't have many millionaires living in Finland. And if they do, I'm sure they do their banking outside of Finland.
So before I give you a few examples, do note that other type of income like capital gains are of course taxed differently. And if you are interested in learning more about Finnish taxes, I have links to a few resources in the description box below. Anyways, just to go through a couple of examples for income tax. If you earn 30,000 euros per year, you are taxed at around 23% with a marginal tax rate of 36%. An income of 50,000 euros is taxed at around 33% with a marginal tax rate of 49%, while an income of 100,000 euros is taxed at a whopping 43% with a marginal tax rate of approximately.
You guys really get taxed. Like, taxed. Wow. Wow. What do you guys think to that? What do you feel about that? Like, to be taxed, you earn more, but then you pay more tax. What do you guys think to that? Let me know in the comment section, because I think, everyone's going to have different opinions on that, even in Finland. To feel like, as you go up, as you work harder, you pay more to society, you pay more to your government. Do you think that's a positive thing? Or do you feel like it's a negative thing? Let me know in the comment section below.
At least 60%. Again, your personal tax percentage will depend on many variables, and these numbers will most likely be different for each and every single one of you. The Finnish tax administrator has a really good tax calculator that you can use to check exactly how much you would be taxed in Finland if you were to work here. Finally, one more thing about taxes. I really don't want to sound too negative about this, because even though we have very high tax rates, we actually get quite a bit for our money. For example, public healthcare that is free at the point of service, free daycare, and education all the way up to master's level studies. Of course,
it would all pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. When you think about it like that, and your taxes going towards helping people and really going towards, you can tangibly see where your taxes are going. Free education, free university is, that is great. But it's just like, if you wanted to progress and earn more, just knowing that earning more, you're not really earning more because you're being taxed more. I don't know.
It would always be nice to pay less taxes, and I do recognize that this topic often raises agitated political discussions, so please try to stay constructive when discussing this in the comments. Alright, so the third reason not to move to Finland is the unfortunate fact that it can be difficult for international job seekers to find a job here.
Oh, really?
So not only is job seeking more difficult for foreign applicants because information on where and how to apply for jobs is difficult to come by in English, but also because many basic jobs in Finland do still require at least some Finnish language skills. This is especially true with jobs where you are in direct contact with customers. So finding a job that does not require Finnish gets easier the further you get in your studies, but what is unfortunate is that if you are a student and you don't yet have a degree or prior work experience in your field, the kind of basic service sector jobs that I just mentioned are actually the ones that you really need in order to get started in the Finnish labor market. So as you can see, this is where we hit a conflict, because it's very hard for you to get a job in your field without a degree or prior work experience. But on the other hand, it's also super difficult to accumulate the needed work experience because you aren't able to apply for these basic level jobs because you don't speak Finnish.
But I just feel like if you're going to move to a country where they speak Finnish, you need to learn Finnish, no? if I'm going to live in a country where they speak a certain language, I'm going to learn that language if it's beneficial to me. And it obviously is beneficial living in Finland. So, just learn the language.
So, of course, this is a simplification and these do not apply to all jobs in Finland. However, it is good to recognize that finding a job in Finland, especially in the early stages of your studies, is not going to be easy. To make things even worse, another reason why it might be difficult for international applicants to find a job in Finland is that according to a research paper, a foreign name might actually have a negative impact on your chances to get a job.
Really? A foreign name might... So, if you move to Finland, make sure you change your name to a Finnish name. Okay. I guess I look at the first name and the second name. So if you have an English name, like my name's pretty English, they'll be like, oh, it's not from here.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to say. So yeah, there has been a lot of talk and anecdotal evidence about discrimination in the Finnish labor market.
Right.
But a paper by Aklag Ahmad, a researcher at the University of Helsinki, unfortunately confirmed this using a large-scale experiment done between 2016 and 2017, where he sent 5,000 fake job applications under Finnish and foreign names in order to find out if a candidate's name affected whether they were invited to an interview. So
Right.
according to Ahmad, people with Finnish names but with similar qualifications were invited to interviews far more than people who were presumed to have a foreign background. So
Right.
again, this is insane considering that those basic level jobs are needed by, for example, international students who come to Finland to build their careers, but who, at the same time, cannot apply for jobs in their fields because they don't yet have a degree.
I get it, but at the same time, if it's a customer service based role where you're speaking to Finnish customers and you have, say your name is Ahmed Singh or something, you're an Asian guy, you're like, oh, they might not be able to speak English well, they might not, like, people make assumptions about people, even if it's not nice and we shouldn't, everyone does it. And say you have someone with a Finnish name, you're like, oh, well, they'll be able to speak Finnish really easily. Like, it's just a very simple kind of quick judgment that you will have in your head. If they have the same qualifications, one is Finnish, one's not Finnish, you probably would interview the one that's Finnish because you're going to speak to Finnish people. I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I know you shouldn't do that, but I understand why it's done. But to make it fair, there should be a policy in place to make sure that everything is equal. So, but I understand why it's done. It's just, there needs to be something in place to stop that from happening all the time. Let's put it that way.
And they need that work experience to get their career started. So this makes me, at the same time, both extremely embarrassed and angry in so many different ways I cannot even put it into words. Anyway, this is the exact reason why this YouTube channel exists. My mission is not only to help you guys to get a degree, but to also help you to get your career started in this country. I know this is a shameless plug, but if you are interested in learning more about these topics, do make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also,
that's not a shameless plug. I think asking to subscribe is a good thing. I don't do that enough. Guys, if you love my content, I've been watching for a while, click the subscribe button because I'm always posting. I'm always learning about Finland and I really would appreciate it. So thank you guys.
Alright, let's continue. The next reason why you should really consider whether moving to Finland is the right choice for you is the darn language. So the Finnish language is extremely difficult to learn, and while I do constantly tell people on my
It is difficult. I've tried a bit. I'm getting better though, because on my Patreon, link in the description, I watch Finnish TV shows every week. I've watched a few Finnish movies, few Finnish Christmas stuff, and I'm starting to hear the language and understand the way it sounds. So after a while, I might be able to attempt some of the words, but it is very difficult compared to like learning Swedish, especially for an English speaking person. It's difficult to learn Finnish, but it's not impossible. I don't think any language is impossible. You just have to really commit.
My channel that you do not need to speak Finnish in order to do well here. To be honest, speaking at least some Finnish will definitely help you find a job, especially in the beginning, and it will definitely make it easier for you to integrate into the country and to the culture. So not only is the Finnish language very much different from all the other European languages, but it also differs from the other Nordic languages as well, all of which share at least some common themes, pronunciations, and grammatical structures. This means
let's see that again.
Differs from the
Oh, dragon. Dragon, dragon. Dragon, drak, drake, dragon, drago, drake, drak, draki, dragon, drage, dracha, drago. And then what?
the other Nordic
really
languages
funny.
as well, all of which share at least some common themes, pronunciations, and grammatical structures. This means that when you learn Finnish, you will have almost no use of prior languages that you speak. I'm sure that you have all seen the memes around this topic, especially talking about the impossible amount of conjugations that the Finnish language uses. Actually, in the Nordic countries, there is a running joke about this, because when we meet up with other Nordic people, say Swedes, Norwegians, and Danes, the only reason we have to change to English is because Finnish isn't even close to those other Nordic languages.
Yeah.
So while this isn't
It's like they can conversate with each other in their respective language. Like Norwegians, Danish, and Swedes, they're able to kind of almost communicate almost perfectly with each other in their own languages, and they'll kind of understand. Whereas you guys would come in and it's just like, what? Let's speak English.
100% true. I still think it summarizes the irony quite well. So another crappy thing about this is that if you want to move to Finland as a student, the language barrier also applies to certain schools and fields. For example, there are a lot of people who would like to come to Finland to study nursing and other healthcare related fields, which by the way is great because we have a huge deficit of talented healthcare workers. However,
so do we in the UK. I think it's a European problem, but yeah, in Britain, we have a massive deficit of nurses and doctors. Since the pandemic, I think a lot of nurses have just left. They're just tired, completely tired. I worked in a hospital during COVID, and yeah, that definitely made me want to leave.
Most of the schools teaching a degree in, for example, nursing, require you to already have B1 or B2 level Finnish skills just to apply. So while I do understand this because nurses are in direct contact with patients and communicating with them effectively does require you to speak the same language, if we have a huge shortage of skilled workers, why can't we just make the applications easier and just teach people Finnish during the studies? Anyways, the next reason not to move to Finland is, as in many other European countries, Finland is well known for the stupid amount of red tape that you have to go through in order to do, well, anything. No matter whether you want to set up a business, apply for government subsidies, or get a residence permit for work, getting through all of the bureaucracy can sometimes be a nightmare because of the needed paperwork and the lengthy procedures. So I'm actually going to make a separate video about this topic in the future, but the Finnish immigration service has actually been criticized quite heavily during the last years, especially by business owners who have become frustrated with the amount of hoops they have to jump through in order to get residence permits for potential international employees.
Yeah, I bet that is just so annoying.
This is actually a huge problem for Finland because we have a growing need for highly educated international talent, especially in highly specialized fields like computer sciences and IT. But the red tape is stopping many of these people from being hired by Finnish companies. So, as you can see, even though Finland is a great country, and I still recommend you guys to come here to study and build your careers, our beloved homeland, like every other country, is not perfect. Anyways, if you found this video interesting, do give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who might also be interested in.
No country is perfect, I believe. Like, no country is perfect at all. And yeah, I think Finland's a really lovely place to live, and I would love a chance to visit. And I know there's loads of people that would love to live there, but I think if you're going to live in Finland, you have to go through the hoops. You have to learn the language, I think. I mean, I guess you could survive not knowing the language, but I think definitely learning the Finnish language is probably number one. As once you know someone's native tongue, it just becomes a lot easier to get through society. Like, learning a language, someone else's language, is the key to success. Like, you're able to watch this video as a Finnish person because you understand English, and that has its benefits. So if you want to live in Finland, the obvious is to learn Finnish. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, I will see you very soon.